Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she's an alcoholic.
Just 1 hour before Jessie was interviewed, she drank an entire bottle of vodka.
A bulimic.
We have to have locked cages. She'll eat all the food.
They can't stop me. I always figured out the code.
She's destroying her family.
Get away from me before I freak out.
And her life.
You drink about a gallon of vodka a day? You're drinking on the job. And this was a preschool.
I get so excited thinking about it.
People are entrusting their children to your care. Are you excited about that?
I drove with my son. I was drunk the whole time.
You lost custody of your son. You have access to him supervised.
Legally, I don't have to be supervised.
Trust me, that changes today. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Wilson, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. I want you to listen to this emotional plea for help from a desperate mother.
Things are really bad. And I wish so bad this we could get to California tomorrow to get this started because it's scary. I dread today because I don't know what's going to happen. I dread tomorrow because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't sleep. I just want you to know the desperation. And I am going to pray extra hard that God give me strength to get through today.
What could possibly have made this mother send this heartbreaking video and write to me for help 9 times? The family appears picture perfect. A happy marriage, a husband who is the local kids' baseball coach, summers spent taking their kids to Disney World and American Idol tryouts, all while running their family-owned water park. But now all of those happy times are gone, erased. A distant and unrecognizable memory because one person, their only daughter, Jessie. Jessie is a severe alcoholic who was recently arrested for assaulting her father in a drunken rage. She is also a bulimic whose binge eating and purging has forced this family to lock their food in cages to keep her from eating it all. There is so much more going on here that I honestly didn't even know where to start. So let's just go in alphabetical order and begin with how Jessie's family says she's killing herself with alcohol.
I am definitely drunk right now.
My daughter Jessie is an alcoholic.
I'm not speaking to you.
You're wasted. She has sucked the life out of all of us.
Do you think this is a game going on, Dr. Phil?
I will never speak to you because you're psychotic.
Jessie will disappear. She comes back in, stumbling, slurring. We have found her passed out in the driveway.
Really? You're going to videotape this?
I want to know where you got the liquor.
I've had friends call me saying, happened to come across your daughter at this bar. Now she's passed out in my back seat. What do you want me to do?
When Jessie's drunk, she becomes belligerent.
Tell Dr. Phil what I am.
A piece of
She will call me a bitch, a horrible mother, blame me for all of this.
Just go away from me.
I just want to know why you drank.
Get away from me before I freak out.
My sister's drinking is pretty horrible. The alcohol just pours out of her body. You can smell it.
We don't give her money, ever. But she's still finding money, and she's able to get the liquor.
I come into her room and I found an empty bottle of vodka.
My daughter Jessie's alcoholism has destroyed our family.
I hate my daughter for what she's doing. Jessie was married barely 2 years. Her husband had had enough of her behavior. Her ex got full custody of her son, and Jessie sees him 7 to 10 days a month. Jessie was drunk one night, and I was going through her room, and she was mad. Jerry came in, and she started hitting him.
So I called the police. She ended up in jail for the night.
But we bailed her out within hours. I think she's dying. I feel like we have maybe a couple months with her, and nobody knows how to help us.
Well, Jessie says her family doesn't know even half of what her drinking entails, and amazingly, just 1 hour before Jessie was about to sit down and be interviewed for this show, she drank this, an entire bottle of vodka, an hour before she sat down to talk in front of our cameras.
Dr. Phil show is at my house. So I'm shaking pretty bad right now, and we'll see what happens.
She's supposed to do an interview with the show. She begged her dad to get something. She had no money.
Her withdrawals were bad. I was afraid she was going to pass out.
Jerry didn't know how she was going to get through the interview.
I begged my dad to get me some alcohol. I said, Dad, I'm so sick. I can't stop shaking. I can't do this interview and won him over. I was so sick, and he doesn't want his little girl to be so sick.
I'm not proud of it, but that's how it went down.
Manipulation is my middle name. I manipulate everybody.
I got into her purse and I found an empty bottle of vodka.
I drank this whole thing. I feel normal. I feel fine.
I was hoping she could do the interview, not wasted, but she is.
I am now able to give the interview without shaking, without my head shaking, and to be honest.
We want Dr. Phil to see what we go through every day, but I can honestly say we've never done this before. I'm not mad at him for doing it, because we're doing what we can do to save her life.
The story Jessie told us about her drinking may shock her family, including how she gets money to buy alcohol and the danger she has put her son in.
I drink a gallon of vodka a day. I had a lot of drinks. I bought a bottle before I went into the bar. I said I was gonna have guys buy me drinks, and they did. I feel very good right now. I lie to my parents all the time and say I'm going to my friend's house, but really I call a taxi and they take me to get alcohol.
You're such a liar.
You're such an alcoholic or druggie or whatever it is.
Go away. My parents have not given me money, so I've resorted to other ways. My dad left his wallet out and I took $60 so that I could buy alcohol. I have 3 sugar daddies and they have sent me money. I will never have to pay for any drinks. I will have guys pay for my drinks. I have stolen mouthwash and I will drink the whole thing. I have to plug my nose. The buzz afterwards, it's worth it. These are the woods behind my house, and I like to hide a lot of my liquor bottles in here. Being drunk makes me just not care. And I have a bottle of vodka in my purse. I'm going to drink it. I have driven drunk numerous times. I was blackout drunk. Instead of turning right at a stop sign, I just went straight into the snow. I drove with my son. I was drunk the whole time. Didn't even think about it. I checked into a hotel. I remember paying for the hotel room. It's all one big blur. I checked myself into detox last week, but it was a total joke. When I set my mind to getting alcohol, I'll do it.
Okay, well, I'm here with Joy, the mother, Josh, the brother, Jerry, the dad here, and Jessie, who all eyes seem to be on at this point. Why are you here?
Because I'm sick.
Mm-hmm. How long since you've had a drink now?
Yesterday morning at like 2:30.
Why? Why not drink anything since 2:30?
I didn't want to come on here drunk.
Are you?
No.
You're not drunk at all now?
No.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what your biggest fear is.
I don't think Jessie's going to live a couple more months. I don't think we're going to have her.
Right.
I don't see how her body can do it. And I picture every day coming home from work that she's going to be dead. I plan it out in my mind. Am I going to do CPR? Do I call Jerry first? Do I call 911? That's my daily drive home from work every day.
It's what you're going to do when you find the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you feel about what she's saying?
Sometimes I feel like they all feel life would be easier without me there.
She's been honest about that. She said that she actually hates you for what you're doing to this family. It was interesting what your answer was. And you had a mother in front of you telling you that every day as a mother she plans on finding her child's dead body. And you didn't care about that at all. You're a mother? Mm-hmm. What would it be like if you had to go home every day wondering if you were going to find that baby's body dead?
I couldn't imagine. I'd be sick all the time. Always.
And that's what you're doing to her, that's what you're doing to him, that's what you're doing to your brother. They respond to it in different ways,
Yeah.
but that's what you're doing to them. Why?
Because I'm a selfish person.
But you don't really care, do you?
Sometimes I care.
Yeah.
Like,
You're-
I'll have conversations with my dad. I'll see how much he hurts, and I don't like hurting my dad.
Does it hurt you?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like you failed her?
Yes. Yes.
In what way?
Constantly. We probably have enabled her at times. There's no question about that. We made mistakes. And I regret making mistakes, but we're human. Both of us would do anything for either one of the two of them, and
Would you really? You know, you say that, and you mean it when you say it, but I have a few questions for all three of you that are going to be answered at a level you've never gone to before. And I'm going to ask those right after the break.
In my dining room, I have a huge Tupperware container that is locked.
When everybody goes to sleep, that's when I raid the cabinets, the fridge. They can change the code all they want. A couple days, I'll figure it out. I like being sneaky. I get a thrill out of it. I used to work at a preschool, and on my break, I would get a pint of vodka, and I would drink half of it. And I would hide it in the trees across the street for the next day. I never got caught. I get so excited thinking about it.
You get so excited thinking about what?
Like knowing the next day I have alcohol ready for me.
And this was a preschool?
Mm-hmm.
And what was your involvement with the preschool?
I was a teacher's aide.
So you were working at the preschool,
Yes.
drunk around these kids.
I was never drunk, but I was buzzed.
Trust me, you don't want to play semantics with me. You are outgunned. You're drinking on the job, right? With people who are entrusting their children to your care. Are you excited about that? I said I'm going to ask you some questions at a different level, and here goes.
Okay.
You've kicked her out of the house, but you let her back in.
Yeah, I let her back in.
You let her back in. She attacks you, and you don't press charges. Why did you not press charges?
it's your child. And you do for your family. You go get them, you encourage them, you give them opportunity, you help them as all you can. But there comes a point, and we have reached that point.
Have you?
Yes, I'm
Because she
convinced
attacks you, and you don't. And let me tell you, I said that I'm going to ask you at a different level, because you know what it sounds like to me? You didn't press charges because you would feel like a if you did, right? Yeah. You would feel like, okay, now I've put my own child in jail. Great job, Dad. So you didn't do it because you didn't want to deal with the pain of facing the reality of where she is. Okay? I mean, come on, guys. Y'all don't enable her because you don't love her. You don't enable her because you're bad parents. You don't enable her because you don't care what happens to her. You enable her because you don't understand what's making you do what you do and not do what you don't do. You're doing it because in the moment you feel maternal. You feel paternal. I protect her. I could have put her in jail, but I couldn't do it because you don't do that to your own child. I would rather leave her out here at risk of killing herself. I mean, that's
it, exactly.
If you think it through to its final conclusion, that's the rest of the thought, right?
Right.
I can put her in jail and feel guilty, or I can escape the guilt and leave her out here to kill herself. She lost, you won. You took care of your own selfish need to escape guilt and left her at risk. That's why you let her back in, right? Because you can't face sitting there looking yourself in the mirror knowing my daughter's under a bridge. Let me tell you, she is a good manipulator. It is called emotional extortion. It's like, okay, I'm going to hold you hostage. I will kill myself or get raped under a bridge if you put me out, bitch. That's emotional. Duh.
Yeah.
That's emotional extortion. Do you see it for what it is?
We're hostages.
Exactly. You're being held hostage. It's like, okay, we're all lost in the woods. Let's find the most incapacitated, confused, lost person in the group and follow her. So we're all lost in the forest. Let's let her run things. Let's let her decide what we do.
Right.
She hasn't got any more idea than a goose what she should do or not do, but we're going to let her run everything. That's what drives you crazy.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You have allowed your grandson to visit knowing she'll be drinking.
I always hope that she's not. In my mind, I think this is the week when he comes for that one time. She's going to pull it together and not do it. But we make sure we never leave her alone with him. In my mind, I keep going thinking it's going to come back. She's going to come, because how can she do that to him?
She's a slave.
Right.
She's looking for her next drink. Let me see if I've got this right. You drink about a gallon of vodka a day?
Mm-hmm. I can, yeah.
Yeah. You drank about a fifth before your sit-down interview.
Yes.
Yeah. You drank another fifth during your mother's interview.
Correct.
You steal money from your parents.
Yes.
You got 3 sugar daddies that you've met online that they'll buy you alcohol and give you money?
Yeah.
Do you know about that, Dad?
No, sir.
You lost custody of your son.
Correct.
You divorced, and now they just said, yeah, you're out of the game. You don't get to have access to him unless you're supervised.
Legally, I don't have to be supervised.
Trust me, that changes today. Okay? You've driven drunk with your son?
Oh, gosh.
You ain't got far to run, girl. She'll be back, or our mobile response psychiatric team will take her into custody and do what has to be done. She's driven drunk with her son, right?
That's what we've been told.
She says she has.
Yeah, and that's where we heard it.
If she doesn't have alcohol, she drinks mouthwash.
Oh, right. Yeah, that went on for quite a while.
She hides bottles of vodka in the woods and under the bed.
Yeah.
She checked into this detox, said it was a joke. She's had 4 one-night stands in a month with just random guys from a bar. So she's just totally no self-worth or value at all. Detox set up a therapist. She didn't go.
Right.
No.
So she's totally non-compliant, right?
Right.
Jesse just stormed off. I assume it was in reaction to me saying, that's changing today so far as her having unsupervised visits. Because let me tell you what you're looking at here. You're looking at a mandated reporter. I am a mandated reporter by law. If I feel that a child is being endangered in any way, I'm required by law on a clock to report it. Based on what I'm seeing and hearing, having her unsupervised with a child is the highest form of insanity I've heard in a long time, and that's Dr. Phil saying that. We will protect this child. These parents will not continue to parent from guilt. These are good people, and there's more than just the alcohol. As I said at the top of the show, they have to lock their food in cages and spend thousands of dollars on treatment. Jessie admits to sabotaging all efforts to help us, just as she is here, because she walked off because she didn't like a harsh truth that I told her. Well, get over it. Next, we're going to find out why her family believes Jessie's bulimia could actually kill her before her alcohol does. We'll be right back.
I'm a bulimic. A typical binge would be a bag of chips, a couple sandwiches, 4 eggs, string cheese. I'll have 5 or 6 of those, 20 cookies, and a lot of peanut butter. I binge eat 2 to 3 times a day. I purge every time.
Every day I will find puke in the toilet.
I clean it 3 times a day, because it's a reminder I can't bear.
I can make myself purge without even using my finger.
This is our refrigerator. We have to have locked cages
This is where I did keep my food. We keep it empty now because she'll eat all the food.
In my dining room, I have a huge Tupperware container that is locked with all the peanut butter, breads, dry foods.
They can't stop me. I always can figure out the code. They can change the code all they want. A couple days, I'll figure it out. When everybody goes to sleep, that's when I raid the cabinets, the fridge. I can get away with it then because they're not watching me. I like being sneaky. I get a thrill out of it.
It's embarrassing. I hate having people come in the house and having to see our food locked up. It's awful. We're like animals.
Jesse's been to 3 different rehabs. We've had to have spent over $20,000, maybe 30.
None of the treatments have worked. I have convinced them that I'm better, and once I leave, I'm right back at it. I love feeling like I'm getting away with something.
So, the plot thickens. There's more to it. I would like to invite Jesse to come back out. You can be mad out here as well as back there. Why did you walk off?
Because I'm so pissed at you right now.
Now, you told my producer backstage he's not taking my son away from me, right?
Right.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I'd do it at any level you want to do it. I'd rather talk to you and try to help you.
I don't think you would. I think you hate me.
But if you want to see which one of us is best at what they do, I'm not like your parents. I'm not guilt motivated. I don't give a whether you like me or whether you don't. I really don't. You're my third priority here. My first priority is your child, to keep the child safe. If it's from you, then it's from you. And by the way, I have one goal for your child, and that's to reunify your child with you.
Then why are you trying to take him away?
My second priority is to save these people. To save these people.
Then why am I even here?
My third priority is you. And fortunately, we can do all of that at one time. But you're used to being the smartest person in the room, right?
Yeah.
And you're used to being the most manipulative person in the room.
And the meanest, yeah.
And you're used to being the toughest in the room.
Yep.
But see, I'm just an old country boy that just keeps his eye on the ball and doesn't really care about all the histrionics. She's saying, why would you even talk about me not being with my son? Well, take a look at this and then we'll chat about that.
My husband has full custody of my son. 7 to 10 days a month, I get to see my son. I want to party too much. I'm not in the right state of mind to be a full-time mom. Summer, what are you doing?
You're wasted. So even though your son is here, you get him for a couple days, you choose to do this. You think this is a game? She loves the addiction more than she loves anything, including her son.
I struggle with giving him attention and giving alcohol attention. Alcohol is winning right now. I can't believe I just said that. I've never said that before, but it's true. Alcohol is winning. When my son says, Mom, you don't need a drink, and I still go and get a drink.
Well, I still love you even though you're wasted.
No,
your son
don't.
is here.
No, you don't.
Look at your eyes. It's so sad. Someday he's going to see this.
Do you know why you said that? Why you said, right now, alcohol's winning over my son?
Because it is?
Because that's not Jesse talking. Sober Jesse would never do that. Addict Jesse, alcohol Jesse, Jesse whose brain has become toxic from alcohol would say that. You don't not love your son. You don't not care about your son. And if you've got the guts to step up and do what you have to do, you will spend the rest of your life with your son at your side. But you will not as an alcoholic. You will not as somebody that drives drunk. You will not as somebody that hides alcohol when you're charged with the supervision of a child. You don't have the right to do that to him, to them, or to yourself. And you know I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
You know you love that little boy. Come on.
Yeah.
Right this minute, if a train was coming and you had to push him out of the way and die yourself, you would do it in a flash.
Without even thinking about it.
I know that. You will die for your son, but will you live for him? That's the question. You can't by yourself, but if you'll let us help you, you can. Jessie says that her mom is responsible for something no little girl should ever endure. That's part of this. She says Joy still has never apologized or even acknowledged that it happened.
I always tell my mom, you never protected me when I was younger, and that's why I got molested when I was 5 years old. I think it's disgusting, and it could have been prevented. When I was 5 years old, I was molested. He touched me, felt me up. I remember like it was yesterday. My mom went out shopping that day. I think it's disgusting that she left me when I was 5 years old, and it could have been prevented. I always tell her, you never protected me when I was younger, and that's why I got molested when I was 5 years old.
This happened to you when you were 5?
Yeah.
And I don't know what anybody else has said to you about that. But let me tell you, I'm really sorry that happened to you. That you didn't deserve that. It shouldn't happen. It's not okay. It wasn't okay then. It isn't okay now. And do you believe her?
Yeah, I do believe her. I just found out about it this year. And I have told her I'm sorry. And if I would have known, I had no clue.
I'm not saying that you would intentionally do this, but...
That's it. I didn't intentionally...
No, I get that.
I felt it was a safe place for her.
But you understand that her experience of it was very different.
Yeah. I mean, just to hear it this year was like a huge red, like, did that start the bulimia? Because we've always wondered what has started all this. I mean, I believe it 100%. I don't believe she's lying at all.
I understand. I hear you. I hear you just like I hear that you're an alcoholic. That's not okay, and them doing this to you is not okay either. What I want to be sure you understand is it's not just an academic exercise that you are putting your life at risk right now. And if you put your life at risk, that means you are putting your son's mother's life at risk. And that is a higher calling. I'm going to pull up our Doctor on Demand app so that Jessie can understand the potential dangers she is putting herself in. Just so you know, if you haven't seen it before, this is a new app. Jay and I actually created this that allows you to type in your symptoms and then video chat with a board-certified physician on the spot, just like you're seeing right now. The face you're seeing is Dr. Saba Huck, and she is with Doctor on Demand. Doctor, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Dr. Phil. How are you doing today?
I am well. I am going to hand this phone to you. You are looking at a beautiful young woman, Jessie. Now, we have a situation where she has had a grand mal seizure. She has been diagnosed with epilepsy. I don't know whether or not the seizure has been brought on by the combination of this binging and purging and alcohol toxicity. Would that trigger this? Could it mimic epilepsy? Could it trigger epilepsy itself? What is the impact of all of this with a seizure disorder?
Well, first of all, if you've been diagnosed with epilepsy, that means epilepsy is a family of disorders where you are prone to have seizures. Now, what causes them? There are some very permanent causes. Low oxygen at childbirth, brain injuries like trauma, we have head injuries, brain tumors, strokes, and then there are drugs like alcohol that can make you more prone to having seizures. You can actually, if you already have a seizure disorder to begin with, and you're drinking, you're dropping the level that's required for your body to have seizures. You're increasing your chances of having seizures.
So you're lowering the threshold.
Absolutely.
All right. So, do you get what we're saying here? Do you see why I wanted a medical opinion here?
Yeah.
What do you think about what Dr. Huck is saying?
I'm probably not going to live much longer.
Yeah. You are definitely at risk. Is it too late, Dr. Huck?
It is not.
If she stops this behavior now with medical supervision in the right way, at this age, as young as she is, her resiliency can be there if she stops this.
Your brain is still doing its developing. You are young enough to bounce back.
You understand, she's telling you it's not too late. You get that?
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Huck, thank you. We're going to let you go.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And what you just saw is right. We did just pick up a smartphone, push a button, and we had obviously a very competent board-certified physician on the other end. That's what Doctor on Demand is all about. And if you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, it's an app that Jay and I created. You can go to Google Play or the App Store, download the DOD app, and you can do the same thing we just did and get your questions answered, your prescriptions filled, referrals to specialists, whatever you need to do, they will take care of. And it's a great resource for us here, as you can see. I wanted her to have the absolute truth medically about this. All right, from having multiple one-night stands with strangers she meets in bars to sneaking out in the middle of the night, we want to talk about why Jessie says she loves the attention that she gets from men, and I'm going to ask her about her priorities going forward. We'll be right back.
I love attention from guys, but I've had one-night stands with about 3 guys in the past month. The attention makes me feel wanted. I love attention from guys. Guys want me because I'm thin, and I'll give it up to them. I've had one-night stands with about 3 guys in the past month. It's to the point where guys will call me in the middle of the night, and I'll be like, okay, let's hook up, and I'll just leave and go hook up with them. The attention makes me feel wanted and cared about.
Your life's not working. Because if you step back and look at it, if it wasn't your life, if it was somebody else's, and they had lost custody of their son, they were drinking like you're drinking, they were putting themselves at risk medically, as Dr. Huck just was talking about, terrible relationships with family. If you were my life manager and you had managed it into that, I'd fire you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
So we can agree that your life is not working.
Correct.
It's not working mentally, emotionally, psychologically, or physically.
Not at all.
Okay? Other than that, you have youth on your side. You've had no catastrophic breakdown of your heart or any of your organs or digestive tract at this point. So there are things on the plus side. You told us, you're very candid, maybe it's when you're drunk, but you're very candid. You said you are the best manipulator and liar ever.
Yep. You
lied to producers every day for 7 days that you were filming the daily life stuff and didn't do it. You said you cut your wrist one time just to get her attention and hurt her. You found ways to leave every place they've ever sent you.
I've completed them, but I've left them not healthy.
Yeah, but you blow smoke, right? You convince them you're better than you are.
Correct.
You know better, but you tell them what they want to hear. You learn rehab speak. You adopt their symbol system.
Yes.
And you start talking about one day at a time, let go, let God. You start doing all the rehab talk.
Yes.
And that's the #1 outcome in a therapist's mind. As soon as the patient starts using the therapist symbol system, they say, oh, she's cured. And you learned that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So they have taught you well. So you found a way to do it every time. You say, quote, made everyone believe I was doing better so I could leave. I pulled at their heartstrings because I knew that they wanted me to believe them. They wanted to believe in me. They wanted to know I was better.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you say, I hate my body, I hate my face, I see a monster in the mirror.
I hate my face, hate my hair, I hate everything about myself. When I look in the mirror, I see a monster. Where do I begin with how much I hate my body? I hate my face, hate my hair, I hate everything about myself. When I look in the mirror, I see a monster. I feel like my nose takes up the whole picture. I had a boyfriend, he would pinch my fat. He told me if you were a little bit skinnier, I wouldn't cheat on you. He cheated on me with a girl who was smaller than me at the time. I am so fat and gross. Once I'm drinking, I think I look awesome.
Well, alcoholic, bulimic, promiscuous, horrible mother, these are just a few of the descriptive words that Jesse's family have used to describe what they say is a once picture-perfect only daughter and sister. Tell me about your little boy.
He's perfect. Beautiful, smart, funny. Oh, he's amazing.
So what do you want for him?
I want him to be happy. And sometimes, like my mom said, maybe he would be better off with a different mom. Maybe if I were to die, he would have a chance to have a real mom.
But then, of course, there's that pesky growing up knowing that my mother chose alcohol over me. There's that pesky growing up knowing that she didn't care or love me enough to fight her way back to solid ground and be there for me. There's that pesky growing up knowing that he wasn't loved enough to inspire health in his mother.
Yeah.
There's always that his new mom would have to manage. The other option is, how about we get you better for real? How about we heal the broken heart and the confusion that comes from being molested? How about we heal the distorted body image so you don't feel the need to have to binge and purge or deal with an eating disorder? How about we clean you up for real at a brain level? And then we go back to court and get that little boy and put him in your lap where he belongs. What do you think about that for me? Because I don't hate you and I haven't given up on you. And I want you to have what you deserve. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds amazing.
I do want to take you out of the game for a while. I want to put you in a treatment center that's a dual diagnosis treatment center. It's not just some rehab where you click off 28 days and say, okay, I got all the words, I'm going. But where they do a deep dive on you to help you find yourself and who you are, help replace habits that have gotten power over you and put in their place habits that you want to embrace. Start creating a record that gets you back to custody. And I'm talking about, this is Ben Levinson right here. Ben, raise your hand so she sees you.
Hi.
Ben is the founder and CEO of Origins Recovery Center. It's the national leader, in my opinion, in what's called dual diagnosis treatment, where we work on multiple things at a time. Origin offers comprehensive treatment programs for both men and women, specializing in integrated treatment of addiction and trauma and other psychological disorders. As I say, I think they are the best. Ben, I asked you to fly here today from South Padre for her. Can you help this girl?
We can absolutely help you. Jess, I am here and I represent a whole team of experts and physicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, nutritionists, nurses, therapists, a whole team of people, because Jess, you need it. And when you sat down, I think it was the most honest thing you said today. You said, I'm sick. You're not a bad person who needs to get good. You're a sick girl, and it's time to go get well.
I'm offering this to you as a gift from us to you. Will you take it?
Yes.
You'll take this gift?
Yeah. Love you, girl. I'm really proud of you. Okay?
All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to Ben Levinson and Origins for helping this very deserving family. I would also like to thank Nurse Chelsea, who is an addiction nurse from Origins, who will be traveling with Jessie to make sure she is medically safe. Also, a special thanks to Jenny Schaefer, who assisted us with the show today. The 10th anniversary edition of her book, Life Without ED, is available now. And a special thanks to Dr. Huck and our medical team at Doctor On Demand for assisting us with the show today. As I said, if you at home want your own Doctor On Demand, just go to Google Play or the App Store, download the app, and you will be hooked up. We will see you next time, and we'll keep you updated on this family. We got a plan, Mom. Okay, we got a plan, kid. Okay? Thanks, buddy. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank y'all. See you.